You are watching the WD Broadcasting Network, your home for racing highlights, iRacing broadcast, commentary, and more. But here comes Jeremiah Woods. He wants to win in the Street Stock Showdown. He's hungry to get up to the front. If you are a fan of short track racing, the WD Broadcasting Network is your home for racing content in real life and on the sim. Follow the WD Broadcasting Network on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And don't forget to hit that red subscribe button on YouTube to never miss an upload. Top spot away, Terzak once again into the back bumper. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the WD Broadcasting Network tonight. We are back with the YourBigPlans.com 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series, and we are at the Lanier National Speedway. Once again, I am joined with my co-host, Cody Geyer. Cody, we almost didn't see it here tonight. You and I were talking throughout the day, kind of wondering when you would get power back after the storm late last week, and I think about 10 minutes after the drivers' meeting, you hopped into chat and surprised all of us.
Yeah, power went out Thursday night with the big storms, and originally they were saying it wasn't going to be back till tomorrow night, so I thought I was going to have to miss out on tonight's race, and then about 20 minutes ago now, it came back on, so hurried up, got everything connected, and happy to be here calling tonight's race with you.
Yeah, Cody, I'm excited for tonight's race at Lanier. I know it's not exactly like Kalamazoo Speedway, but I think this is maybe visually the most comparable track to the Kalamazoo Speedway that we have on iRacing. So do you think we are maybe in store for some of that same racing that we see at Kalamazoo here at Lanier?
I mean, I think so. Lanier's a 3/8 mile track just like Kalamazoo. It is, the track itself is a bit wider, but just like Kalamazoo, multiple grooves, so I think we'll see very similar racing to what we've seen at Kalamazoo the past couple of years.
Yeah, and in practice, like, we're getting the looks right here. Noah Lanier using up that second groove next to his BHR teammate, Jackson Masinko. Luckily, both of those drivers able to kind of work together in practice, figuring out which line is going to work, which line is not going to work. That's going to be the big kicker. It's not necessarily which line works, it's which line doesn't work, is a lot of times where you see drivers make passes. If you see somebody stuck on the bottom, you can jump up to the top and get 3-4 cars in one go.
Yeah, and we saw that last week at Southern National where the track widened out as the race went on. As you can see here, Masinko going to that outside line to get around Lanier. So it's going to be interesting to see how the track changes throughout the 75-lap main event tonight and who can get a hold of it first.
Yeah, I think track position's definitely going to play a big game in tonight's race, and if we see one caution, that's going to change the game, because the first start, you're double file. You have a chance to maybe make something happen on that start. Every start after, you're going to be single file, and in a 24-car field, the leader is going to be at the start-finish line. The last place car is probably going to be entering turn 3, that's my guess. So you're going to have to make up ground quickly, and you're going to have to be methodical in doing so, because it's definitely tough to pass here at Lanier.
And it's doing all that without finding yourself in trouble. But, I mean, here at Lanier, we'll be in lap traffic quickly, just like we were at Southern National last week. Even with as tight of a field as I'm expecting here tonight. But it's 75 laps. You think that's quite a bit of time, but not really. You don't have the help of double file restarts. It's single file from the first caution on, and if you're starting in the back, we've seen it so far this season in the 500 Sim Series. You can work your way through the field, but once you get to around the top 5, passing cars comes at a premium.
Yeah, the front of the field very tight. Sorry, I had to adjust something on stream. The boss man, Zach Kaiser, gave me a suggestion last week, and I just realized that I did not implement it. So shout out, Zach, if you're watching. I updated your suggestion, but yeah, passing in the top 5, we saw Jackson Masinko work his way up through the field last week, really picked him off early on, but once he got up to the top 5, like you said, very tough to make those passes. The competition fierce throughout the field, but man, those top 5 spots are elite.
Yeah, and we even saw Masinko, even with how hard it is to pass, he still started 10th, got his way up to 2nd, and at one point got even with Zach Catalone in the final 10 laps. Just he couldn't make that move on the inside, and Catalone went on to win. But for Jackson Masinko, competitor on the real-life side of the YourBigPlans.com 500 Sprint Car Tour, a win and a 2nd to start out the season, leading the points, and he's looking good so far going into week 3.
Yeah, and let's take a look at those points, Cody, if I can get them up on screen. There we go. There's the button. Masinko leads. He's got 12 points over Jeffrey Stanton. Back behind, it kind of drops off quickly. The way that the points are set up here in the 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series, you really have to be at the top of the field and maximize your points. There's a lot of bonus points given out, qualifying points, points for not getting any incidents coming up through the field. We saw Masinko last week get the hard charge reward at Southern National. Or sorry, no, he didn't get the Southern National hard charge reward. It was Brandon Atkinson. I'm speaking incorrectly there, but bonus points add up quickly. Masinko, who currently holds the points lead, he's got 10 bonus points, the most out of any driver in the field.
Yeah, and you can see it. He's already out to a 12-point lead in the standings over Jeffrey Stanton. And really, those two have been the class of the field throughout the first 2 races of the season. Of course, Zach Catalone winning last week at Southern National, but missed the first race, so he finds himself back a ways to begin the season. But after that, I mean, you still have fast guys like Jonathan Schaefer, Brandon Atkinson, Randy Caldwell, who have put together solid results in the first 2 races. And, I mean, still got another 7 races to go after tonight, but it looks like we could have ourselves a 2-horse race here early.
Yeah, there is one drop week throughout the season, so if drivers miss a race, maybe have a bad race, they do get a 1 single drop race that doesn't count. So it's technically your best 9 races out of 10. So it's kind of like a 10-race season where the, say, Little 500 isn't for points. Well, think of it in that perspective. 9 races, you got to make your best 9 count. This is going to be, I think, a pretty good battle towards the end of the season, especially if some of these guys start to maybe figure out what Masinko's doing in that 24.
And it's also going to be interesting to watch the point standings as they go because, like you said, with the drop week, man, you got guys like Masinko and Stanton who are off to really good starts, and you also have other guys deep in the field who have probably already used the drop week. So it'll be interesting to see how the points play out when we get to race 8, race 9, race 10, when we see some of these top guys use a drop week after a bad week, and these other guys who have already used theirs, maybe they put together a strong few races, and by the time someone like Masinko or Stanton uses a drop week, the points could look completely different going into the finale at IRP.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, for some of these drivers, you're not going to necessarily know which week is your drop week until you know. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to exactly have that mathed out until that final race is ran, and that's kind of the fun thing about only having 1 drop week as opposed to 2 that we've seen recently. You're able to, in those final couple races, maybe race a little bit differently because you have more situational awareness. But this season, you're not going to know until you know. So you're going to have to push every single race, try to maximize those points. Let's look at the schedule heading forward, Cody, because we've got some action-packed races. Nashville next week, and then this is another one I'm looking forward to, Oswego. I have taken 1 series in Leave the Pack, or maybe 2. I think we took modifieds as well. We've taken 2 trips to Oswego, and they've both been pretty exciting races. It's a track that will widen out, and it may be comparable to a track like Berlin on the real-life side of things.
Yeah, Oswego, they call the track in real life the Steel Palace. I've actually been there one time before, but it's a big 5/8 mile track, lots of room for racing. Oswego's one that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun track. I think you've you've maybe taken a trip there in real life. Is that what you told me?
Yeah, I went there once a few years ago. Such a cool place, and so cool that Oswego's on the iRacing service.
For sure. And the fact that we have it not only on the asphalt part, but they also throw dirt on that track pretty frequently, and we have that version as well. So it's really cool to utilize both versions of that track. Unfortunately, July 6th, we're not going to be able to run the Winchester Speedway. Not going to be ready in time for July 6th. It's not coming out this season, but we will head to the high banks of Bristol. That's going to be a pretty exciting race. They might be pretty fast around the bottom of that track, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and Bristol, another big half-mile high bank, just like Winchester, and the concrete surface might play a little wrench into things, but really excited for Bristol. Wish we could have Winchester on the service by then to see a great race there at the world's fastest half-mile, but Bristol's still going to put on a good show nonetheless.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the things I'm kind of curious about, we see these sprint cars at real life or at Winchester in real life, and they obviously fly around there. Bristol is a little bit different because Winchester, obviously, you have the dips, you have the kind of waviness of the corner. It's not exactly a smooth ride. Bristol is just about glass smooth on iRacing, so these guys are going to have their hands full. I am guessing there's going to be a lot of cornering speed. I'm going to have my hands full trying to build these setups for these drivers to get them as comfortable as possible.
Yeah, I don't envy you with that part, but Bristol and the concrete surface, and on the real life side, I don't think there's really too much non-wing racing that's gone on at Bristol. Of course, when they had the U.S. speed records, probably 15 years ago now, Brian Clausen took a non-wing sprint car to the track at Bristol, but really the only sprint car experience that's gone on at Bristol in real life is, of course, the World of Outlaws stuff. But then when Must See Racing went to Bristol in 2011 and Brian Gerster ripped a lap around there at 150 miles an hour. So it's going to be cool to see. It's not something that we will normally get to see on the real life side of things, but here on iRacing, we get to see sprint cars at Bristol.
Yeah, that's one of the fun things about iRacing is that you get to see things that you, like you said, regularly would not see. And one of those is sprint cars at Lanier. We're getting ready to qualify, Cody. This is going to be intense. Top 24 lock. The rest of them going to the B.
Yeah, and doing something different this week. Still going to have the B main, like you said, but we're not taking anybody out of the B main. So top 24 into the show and only the top 24. So qualifying more important than ever.
Yeah, and on that second lap of qualifying, front-wheel drive regular at the Kalamazoo Speedway has several wins this season. Matt Elzy Jr. got a little bit sideways. Right now, he currently sits 19th quick. He's going to look for some insurance these third and fourth laps, rather.
Yeah, and insurance is necessary here tonight. I mean, like with the top 24 and only 24 locking in, if you're there really from about 18th on back, you're not very safe. As we're up to 23 cars qualified now, we'll start bumping here momentarily.
Yep, drivers going to start getting bumped. Elzy got a better lap time his second lap. That should maybe put him in the show. We'll have to keep an eye. 12.2, he's back to 10th. We'll see what Carter Hollingsworth can do in the 28.
And Hollingsworth probably passed the more cars than just about anybody else the first 2 weeks. The results not really showing for it. He's looking for a better qualifying run this week, put him closer to the front of the field.
Yeah, 15th quick, lap number 1. The key for Carter this race, shut it down, didn't like the way it felt there. The key for Carter this week's race is, I was talking to him, you just got to finish the race, man. You just got to get that car to the finish, avoid the chaos. He's, like you said, he's passed a lot of cars, just has not been able to make it to the finish of a race. And I think if he can get one of the results to show, we'll see the 28 near the top of the board.
And he's had the speed during the race, and I think if he get a good qualifying spot, start towards the front of the field, he'll be a threat to win. It's just he's got to qualify closer to the front, and try to stay out of where the chaos happens.
Yeah, and a big story here. The driver that is currently 14th in the point standings, Rylan Gray, did not make the field. Right now on the bubble, Noah Longyear in the 18. He sits 24th in the standings.
And that's crazy considering Ryland Gray's ran in the top 10 most of the first 2 weeks, and before incidents in both races taking him out. And now, as it sits now, he'll be running the B main, and his points take a hit. Yeah, and he's another driver who last week had a strong run going, but once again another incident took him out. And teammates in the Brad Hayes Racing stable with Jatson Masinko, who he himself finds in 14th in qualifying. He's going to have some work to do later tonight, but tough break for Noah Lanier. We'll see him here in the B, and maybe we'll bring him on the broadcast later.
Yeah, we may have to have him up in the booth as a pit reporter. I was muted that time I was talking. I gotta stop hitting my mute button and then not realizing it's on. But we're gonna have 5 cars in the B here tonight. We took, a couple other storylines. Randy Caldwell, he's 5th in the point standings, did not make it on time.
Yeah, gonna see quite a few drivers maybe have to use their drop week like we were talking about earlier in the broadcast. And the new rule this week with not taking anybody out of the B coming out to bite some drivers here.
Yeah, and I mentioned it in qualifying, or before the race. I said, you have to qualify in. You have to. I can apologize, but you have to qualify in. Now we're going to have 15 laps in the B feature. We'll meet our starting lineup. We're going to have 6 cars going for bragging rights here. Before we kick things off, we'll try to look at our starting grid. There we go. On screen, first driver out, the Brad Hayes Racing number 18. That's Noah Longyear. 2 is outside, Josh Batista in the 20. Another driver that is top 10 in the point standings.
Row 2 in looks like the 26, Matthew Rogers, and 2 is outside in the 31. That's Brad Carpenter.
Yeah, Carpenter has made a couple starts this season. Currently 19th in the point standings. Actually, only 1 start. My apologies. Carpenter going to roll off 4th. In the 3rd row, 2 drivers that were near the top of the point standings. Rylan Gray actually 14th, but looking for a better run. Not going to have it here tonight. To his outside, Randy Caldwell currently sits 5th in the point standings. He's going to take a big hit on that one.
Yeah, and a tough break for Caldwell and quite a few others who have shown strength in the 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series this season. Now going to have to run the B.
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to have too many B feature participants here tonight. No Longyear, I think, going to get some extra laps in for the broadcast. I wish we could maybe even consider giving a provisional, because he's running the whole gig there. The 500 Sprint Car Tour and 500 Sprint Cast Mobile going to burn it down on the front stretch.
Hey, as they say, a win's a win. And the producer for the 500 Sprint Cast, he picks himself up a B may win. Just don't tell anybody how we got it.
Yeah, we'll have to keep that one a secret in the post-race review, but we'll have to definitely get Noah up in the booth. Tough that he could not make the field, but that just goes to show, and especially with Rylan Gray, Josh Batista, he's a regular in the sprint cars on iRacing. That goes to show, Cody, just how stacked this field is. And let's look at our qualifying results and how they go to green.
Yeah, Zach Catalone, second week in a row, setting fast time, starting on the pole. He also won last week at Southern National, and starting outside front row, an interesting name, Cole Cabry, making his first start of the season.
Yeah, brothers with Chase Cabry, who we saw lay down a blistering lap time at Owasso. I mean, it was literally insane in the stands. I was pumping my arms, and I wasn't even in the car. My heart was pounding. I could only imagine what he was feeling in the car. But Cole also shares that speed. You can see right there in the second spot. I've raced with Cole a lot on iRacing. He's a tough competitor, and he's definitely going to be one to watch here tonight, making his first start this season. We'll see what he can do from second. Kyle Terzak, another name. He's been successful here on the WD Broadcasting Network. The last 2 races I have called, he has won. So that 15 machine's got some momentum coming in. He's definitely another heavy hitter. 3 right in the top 3.
And looking deeper in the field, like we talked about during qualifying, Carter Hollingsworth starting in the top 10 tonight. That's bid for him. Andrew Bogus, Jonathan Schaefer, Brandon Atkinson, 3 drivers who have shown speed here early in the season. And then our points leader, Jackson Masinko, starting 15th.
Yeah, Masinko, we were just talking about those qualifying bonus points and all of the extra bonus points that you can get. We may have jinxed him there. He's going to be rolling off deep in this one. But remember, he didn't have the best qualifying effort last week at Southern National. He rolled off from the 10th spot. And he's going to be a little bit deeper in the field here tonight, but he can potentially make his way to the front.
Yeah, we saw last week with it, 10th to 2nd was even with Catalone for the lead, so it's possible. And looking just behind him, you have Zach Evans returning for a second race this season. Matthew Elsie, who was just on Horsepower Happenings just a couple hours ago, he'll roll off 17th. And so we have a stacked field and excited to get this one going.
Yeah, for sure. I believe we are going to have to let this one play out. Let's try to grab a word from our fast qualifier if we can. See if Zach Catalone's got a chance to hop in the broadcast booth for a moment. Of course, they have advanced to the warm-up session, so it is official. We are ready to go racing. But let's get our fast qualifier and winner last week up into the broadcast booth, Zach Catalone. How are you feeling setting fast time 2 weeks in a row? Going to be leading this field to the green.
Feeling pretty good. Just kind of gotta keep the car under me. I think I'm gonna try to save some fuel, make it easier to be on the gas for longer. Just being able to get on it harder without it wanting to step out.
Yeah, this field's going to be pretty close. We saw the times 0.2 of a second back to the 20th place spot. How do you plan on keeping this field behind you and making the car? I mean, you said you have to save fuel. Do you have to save tire, or can you just go from the beginning?
With this car, it's really just saving fuel. The tire doesn't really wear. I mean, you can get it hot if you slide it a lot, but once it's it'll cool right back down. The fuel is really the main thing that will make it be slower or not. Just can't be able to get on the throttle as fast.
Yeah,
And
for
how
sure.
do you?
Oh, sorry, Cody.
How do you expect the track to change throughout the 75 laps?
Sure, we'll try to go to the top, but what I'm hoping for is once it goes to the top, everybody starts running up there, so the bottom comes back in. And I plan to stay down there the whole time, even if it does come in. So I think at some point it will come back down to the bottom.
All right. Well, if you're going to be committed down to the bottom side, I think it'd be pretty interesting to see everybody try to get you on the top. I think the top's definitely going to come in, like you said, but it'll be fun to watch you try to hold them off from that inside lane. You got about a minute left before you guys get on the starting grid. What's your final thoughts? Who do you got to thank for the pole? What are you feeling for the race?
I got to thank myself for being able to drive it right there. I did it on that last lap there. And
yeah.
Thanks to you guys for broadcasting it.
Yeah, for sure. 4 laps in qualifying, it definitely gives you a little bit more, you can kind of send it a little bit more, I feel.
Yeah, my plan was to go for the first and second lap, and whatever I got off of that, park it, and then just have one more lap for the fourth. I just felt first and second lap, once you started to get to your third, it just wasn't faster. So I decided to park and just give it one more go at it. It ended up being a burner.
All right. Well, you got about 10 seconds left now, so we'll wish you luck, and hopefully we can talk to you post-race.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yep. All right, really quickly, Cody, we're going to talk to our B main bandit winner. Just barely did not make the show. Noah Long, you're up in the booth. One spot shy, man.
All I could say is, hey, Lanier, how about a provisional for your boy? I don't know. I think the crowd has spoken, WD. I think your boy needs a provisional. I mean, 500 sprint cast on the car. Brad Hayes breathing down my neck. I think I'm owed something. Okay.
I tried talking to the race director. I tried talking to the officials. I even slipped out of Benjamin Franklin. I couldn't convince him. No, I even brought up the paint.
I am an official, and I say it's okay. Race director's just the sub. I think we could commandeer the. Never mind. I can't even grid. So, that was great. Well, WD, do you Parker Kligerman me, or am I spotting the 24 to another win?
I think you're spotting the 24 to another win. You've got your work cut out for you if you plan on spotting the 24. He rolls off from the 15th spot. How do you plan on navigating him through the field?
I wouldn't mind abandoning him to be in the booth with you boys. Nice to see KG Media. Hopefully you got power back. What's up, Cody? But yeah, Jackson Masinko is the best driver in this series. I'm fortunate to have him as a teammate, but even him, he was struggling in qualifying. He's just naturally a 10th and a half quicker than me. I know last week I outqualified him by 5 spots, but he's still the better driver. So I got to jump down there. I got to keep an eye on my boy, but it's unfortunate for the Brad Hayes Racing 500 Sprintcast marknews.org machine.
Yeah, for sure. We hope to see you back next week. Hopefully have a better qualifying run at Nashville, but congrats on your B main win. No longer.
Nope, I'm done. In my contract, I had to make every show. See you guys.
All right, Cody, let's meet our starting lineup. Starting on the pole, Zach Catalone in the 79, going to roll off to his outside. It's the 12 of Cole Cavery making his first start this season.
Kyle Turzak inside row 2 to his outside in the 3. It's Caleb Burge.
In the 24 car, the driver out of Anderson, Indiana, that is Noah Allison to his outside. It is Cy Bowen, regular in the street stocks around the Michiana area.
Starting 7th, Anthony Woodhull in the 111 to his outside. Second in points, the number 94, Jeffrey Stanton.
Rolling off in the 9th spot, Gavin Gardner, winner in the street stock showdown. To his outside, it's going to be Carter Hollingsworth in the 10, looking for his first finish of the season.
Starting 11th, a driver in the Tri-State Sprints, Andrew Bogus in the 17. To his outside, the former Cars Tour winner, Jonathan Schaefer.
Row number 7 to the inside, your hard charger last week, the Trick Chassis number 15. That's Brandon Atkinson. Also in the Trick Chassis machine, it's going to be 75P of Christian Peterson.
Points leader starts 15th, the 24, Jackson Masinko. To his outside, a employee with Racing America, the official streaming partner of the 500 Sprint Car Tour. That's Zach Evans.
Starting 17th, the LZ Racing Team, number 27. You'll see him in a front-wheel drive and occasionally a modified up at the Kalamazoo Speedway. That's Matt LZ Jr. To his outside, this guy is a flagman at the New Paris Speedway, the 222. That is Jeremiah Woods Jr.
Starting 19th, Jaden Russell. To his inside, Brian Tedeschi.
Alex Orions, K.H. Donahue, Jacob Wilson and Zach Murphy bring us to the green. We are underway at Lanier, and the field down through the first set of corners. Single file throughout your top 4, but everybody else trying to figure it out behind them.
Brandon Green through lap 1 as we top 5 all single file, and it's side by side from there on out. Cabry holds the lead, and Catalone about to lose second to Turzak, and he will down the front stretch.
Yeah, Cole Cabry to the race lead. Kyle Turzak in the 15 looking to the inside. We're clean and green through 3 as we come up out of 4. Here comes Caleb Burge underneath your pole sitter, Zach Catalone. Catalone on that outside lane, struggling to get down. The top side does not look like the place to be early on.
Yeah, a bad start for last week's winner as he's about to lose 4th to Cy Bowen. Still trying to hang strong on the outside. So far, it's been a losing effort as Bowen trying to take that spot with Stanton just behind him.
Yeah, Stanton right there in the 94, the driver's second in the points. He wants a great run here tonight. Back behind, Carter Hollingsworth in the 28. Had a moment where he was 3 wide there, and there's contact behind them. Atkinson and Schaefer, they door slam down the back straightaway.
Crazy start here in the first few laps as they start to sort themselves out single file. It's Bogus and Hollingsworth first side-by-side battle for 9th as Hollingsworth trying to work his way through the field. Jatson Masinko just behind him trying to do that as well.
Yeah, Masinko looking up to the outside of Jonathan Schaefer. Those two have battled a couple times this season. They've got Street Stock Showdown winner Gavin Gardner looking to the inside as well. All those drivers battling for that final spot in the top 10, which currently Brandon Atkinson holds, but Carter Hollingsworth wants it in the 28.
Yeah, and Gardner, another driver who's passed a bunch of cars in the first couple of weeks, got himself a good starting spot this time and finds himself in 14th right now with a big gaggle of cars all battling for position, led by Andrew Bogus, who's running 8th.
Yeah, Gardner came from 24th to 8th in week number 1 at North Wilkesboro, so he is no stranger to bringing that car up from the front of the field, from the back of the field. Right now, he started in the 11th spot, or 9th spot rather. He's right now running 14th.
Yeah, and Hollingsworth trying to make the outside work, but just like Catalone at the start of the race, just dropped anchor, continuing to go backwards. As Atkinson running in 10th, Masinko able to get by Hollingsworth as well. He's up to 12th here early.
Yeah, Jonathan Schaefer looked underneath Brandon Atkinson there. Atkinson had to shut the door. Meanwhile, back behind him, Christian Peterson, the next driver to look underneath Carter Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth has got to get down to the inside here. We'll see if he can do it right in front of Matt Elsie Jr. off of turn number 2.
Yeah, single file throughout most of the field. As I say that, we start to battle hard and heavy up front. Cy Bowen to the inside of Burge for the 3rd spot. Stanton to the inside of Catalone for 5th, just behind him, as we're getting racy up front.
Yeah, here comes Kyle Turzak to the inside of Cole Cabry for the race lead down the back straightaway. Turzak down low. Caleb Burge sits 3rd. Cabry not going to give it up, though, on the top side. Uses that outside lane, able to clear Kyle Turzak down into 1.
Top 3 all nose to tail tank. Cy Bowen trying to take 4th as Stanton now trying to take 5th from Burge as we're racing hard up front. Meanwhile, up front, once again, Turzak now to the outside of Cabry for the lead.
Yeah, Turzak looking high, looking low. Cabry able to block every run thus far, but that 15 machine looks strong. Stanton, on the other hand, in the 40 or 94, he's looking on the outside lane of Burge. He's slowly working his way up, but he's using that second groove, and he's using it well.
Yeah, Stanton moves up to 4th. Catalone, after dropping back to 5th, all the way up to 3rd already. Now looking to the outside of Turzak there down the backstretch. Now he's in danger of losing the 3rd spot to Stanton as we go into 1.
And man, Cody, this track, we knew it was going to be multi-groove. I did not expect these drivers to be this much like moving around the racetrack. This is incredible in these first 25 laps of this one as we come across to complete lap number 22. Your top 5 settle down for a moment, but I'm sure they'll get things wound back up here shortly.
As we see Burge on the outside trying to make that work. It hasn't worked here early, but still a long ways to go. And just behind him as we have more battles for position here at the end of the top 10.
Yeah, right there, Schaefer not able to get underneath Noah Allison in the 24. Up in front of him, Jeffrey Stanton to the inside of Caleb Burge. Now looks to the inside of Zach Catalone. Catalone able to use that second groove. gets that spot, and now Burge on the top side trying to hold off Jeffrey Stanton, but Stanton looks strong so far in the 94.
Yeah, Burge has been on the outside for the last few laps, and it looks like it might be starting to pay off as he goes around Stanton for the 4th spot momentarily. Now he clears him down the backstretch. Now Cy Bowen going to try the outside as well to get around Stanton, as just ahead of him we have a battle for second as Terzak on using that outside line, and Catalone, the pole sitter, trying to make the inside work.
Yeah, Catalone on that inside lane. And one thing I'm noticing, Cody, if these drivers get down on the inside lane to try to make that pass, it'll work, but it'll only work for a couple laps. You have to kind of get back into either single file or up on the outside lane to cool the tires back down. The right rear not very happy with the way that it's driving up off the bottom.
Yeah, and we're seeing that outside line coming in really well now as we're approaching halfway. And we got a car around on the front stretch. First caution of the night for Kyle Terzak.
Your race leader, or second place runner, I should say, Kyle Terzak, got tagged by Zach Catalone. I don't know if that happened before or after the 15 got loose. Let's watch that again. Try it right here. AG Media replay will tell us exactly what happened up off of 4. It looked like the 79 just maybe got a little bit tight, came up the racetrack and tagged the 15, and that's going to put Terzak to the tail.
Yeah, tough break for a second place starter. And in one of those where two sides meet in the middle as we look at the replay once again.
Yeah, I want to try to find a better angle.
And maybe Catalone got a little bit tight going out of 4 and got into the 15 of Terzak, and just an unfortunate break for the 15.
Yeah, let's try to get this from up above in the chopper here. 79 down to the bottom, gets the throttle and just comes up the slightest little bit. And he will end up going around. After that, Catalone in the 79 taps out. Gentleman move, goes to the tail. He knows the mistake made there up off the corner. We have a claim system here in the 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series, and so far, Cody, these drivers have actually done a really good job of keeping the integrity up.
Yeah, you love to see that here in the 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series, something we're trying to build as we go through 3 and 4, and Colt Cabry leads us back to green.
Yeah, he got a huge launch in that restart zone. Everybody else tries to make positions back behind him. Andrew Bogus to the outside of Jeffrey Stanton, the first driver to make a move. And here comes Stanton to the inside of Cy Bowen. Bowen in the 017 having a great run at this moment. And up the racetrack he goes. Stanton going to go by for the 3rd spot. Bogus going to go by as well. And Bowen going to be back to the 7th spot out of turn number 4.
And guess who's in the top 5? Your points leader, Jatson Masenko, started 15th. He finds himself into the top 5 just before halfway as he clears Allison out of turn 4.
Yeah, Masenko up to the top 5. Noah Longyear must be working his tail off in that spotter stand, telling him where to go. This field is tough to navigate in that 24, making it look pretty easy so far up into the top 5. Your hard charger so far.
And now Bogus took a peek to the inside of Stanton down the backstretch, thought better of it, and just ahead of them, Burge looking for a way around Cabry for the lead.
Yeah, Caleb Burge in the number 3 machine only has one start this season, he has 2 starts this season. A 6th place finish in week number 1. Last week did not get the best result at Southern National, but he does have speed, and he's showing it right here running 2nd.
Yeah, still looking for a way to the inside of Cabry as Bogus pulls even with Stanton. Stanton caught on the outside, and this might give the 3rd spot to Bogus as they go down the back stretch.
Yeah, through turns 3 and 4. Bogus to the inside, going to try to peek ahead of Jeffrey Stanton. It looks like he will, but not able to clear up out of 2.
Yeah, and Stanton fighting on the outside, but all for naught as Bogus takes the third spot. Meanwhile, just ahead of him, Burge still looking for a way around Cabry.
Yeah, Jeffrey Stanton crossed over in the 94, moved back down to the inside lane underneath Andrew Bogus, and trying to battle for that third position. I don't even know which battle to watch, Cody. We're going to have to just keep the wide angle on it because you look away one moment and then they're side by side ahead. You got to look back and then it just keeps on changing. There's never a driver that is not side by side on this racetrack.
Yeah, great racing going on through the top 5 as Stanton retakes the third spot. Burge still looking for a way around Cabry. Masenko goes to the apron in 1 and 2, but he's caught himself in a battle with Noah Allison and Jonathan Schaefer. So great racing here at Lanier in the top 5.
Look at the line that the 24 is running. He's doing it both ends of the racetrack, Cody, all the way down onto the flat.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. I mean, we've had drivers go to the second groove here so far in this race as the run goes on, but it seems like as this second long run's gone on, Masenko's gone to the apron, and Bogus may be aware of that as we see him go on the apron now.
Man, that is insane. I've dipped my left front down there on accident a couple times, but I have never drove down to the apron with intent. That is an incredible line being ran by Jackson Masenko, and he's running in the 5th spot, so he definitely kind of has an idea of what he's doing.
And we see Bogus doing it too, as he's going to clear Stanton for the 3rd spot. So maybe we have something found, as now Stanton going to try the apron himself, but Bogus able to use the momentum in that second groove to hold him off for the meantime.
Yeah, they're getting aggressive battling for this 3rd spot. They know that the time's running out. We've got 25 laps to go, 2/3 of the way into this one. And caution flag flies for the second time this race. We've got one up into the turn 1 wall, and that's Kyle Terzak in the 15.
Yeah, the no good, very bad race continues for Kyle Terzak. Had himself a good finish last week at Southern National, and it started promising as we look at the KJ Media replay. Like, got Zach Evans and Jaden Russell battling for position in front of him, and yeah, he just had nowhere to go.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of instances this season with ARCA braking where a driver maybe doesn't get the brake pedal in time or at all. That one wasn't necessarily one of them. They kind of spawn right in Kyle Terzak's lap. Let's see what happened here. That's Matt Elzy Jr. to the inside, Tedeschi to the outside, and I think just a little bit of contact sent that 29 around. Try to get a better look at it, but yeah, like you said, nowhere for the 15 to go.
Yeah, as we look at another replay, and Tedeschi on the outside lane, battling for position, and looks like it might just be a bit of netcode.
Yeah, I don't think there was actually any real big contact there as you see Terzak down into 1, but I don't think there was any actual contact there. If you're unfamiliar with iRacing, with the internet part of it and the complications that can bring, there's sometimes some unexpected contact, or the game predicts contact where there isn't supposed to be, and that was maybe an instance of it there. We'll have to take a look at it post-race, but green flag flies here. We are back underway with 24 laps remaining in this one.
Otis back to the apron as Cabry gets himself a big jump on the restart. Otis now trying to take the 2nd spot from Burge as he uses that apron.
Yeah, Andrew Bogus using the line that he saw Masenko running in the 24, and he's going to look for that 2nd spot. Does he have something to challenge your race leader, Cole Cabry? He'll take it out of turn number 4, and he's going to look down the back straightaway.
Single file through the first 7 or 8 spots. It's Christian Peterson, Cy Bowen side by side at the end of the top 10. But Otis to the apron once again, trying to make it work to get around the 12 of Cabry.
Yeah, he drives it down to the bottom. Cabry using up that top lane, saying, you know what, if you want to drive all the way down there, you can go ahead and do it. I'm going to use the momentum here on this outside lane. Bogus going to drive down once again through 3 and 4, and he's going to pull alongside this time. 19 laps to go. Battle for the race lead.
Avery to the outside, trying to hold on to the lead. Bogus to the inside. Cabry able to use that momentum on the outside to hold the lead, but not for long. I think Bogus led that lap.
Yeah, Bogus going to be able to clear out of turn number 2, give the race lead to Andrew Bogus. Cole Cabry going to try to cross over back to the bottom. Here comes Caleb Burge in the number 3. Put a blanket over your top 4 as Jeffrey Stanton looks right there as well.
Cabry back to the inside of Bogus. Power move into 3. He'll retake the lead. Bogus with the crossover, not going to work. Cabry holds on to the lead. Burge and Stanton trying to use that outside line.
Yeah, they're going to come back to 15 laps to go this time. Cabry has been up on the outside lane most of this race, but now knows that that inside lane is going to be a factor. He's going to have to block it off, but he's not able to that time. Here comes Bogus back to the bottom into 3.
Bogus able to pull even, gonna try to clear him. He will, out of 4, just barely. Cabry crossover back to the apron, contact, and we got our carnage.
Yeah, Jackson Masinko, your points leader. Up and over, big time damage to the 24 machine. Andrew Bogus and Cole Cabry, who were putting on an amazing show. They got racing there, and I think just things got a little bit too heated, Cody.
Yeah, and you thought it was a possibility there with 15 laps to go, just with how they're racing. And it looked like, as we go to the KG media replay, as Bogus able to clear Cabry out of 4, and Cabry was on the apron in the front stretch. Then contact out of 2, and Jackson Masinko nowhere to go.
Yeah, the 24, no longer just could not pilot him through that one, unfortunately. He did a good job so far, but tough break for the 24. That good run that he had going up in smoke. He may be able to recover, but that race car looks pretty heavily damaged. Let's go on board with the 12 of Cole Cabry here and see what he saw.
Yeah, it was a big crossover move on the front stretch. And it looks like just contact out of 2 and 2 drivers racing hard for the win.
Yeah, and tough break for Masinko, like you said, nowhere to go. Good job, though, by the rest of the field to not pile up any further into that. That was a pretty big one out of 2, and to only have a couple other cars torn up, pretty great driving by everybody behind him. Caleb Burge, Jeffrey Stanton, and Jonathan Schaefer, your top 3 now, going to bring us back to go just shy of 10 laps to go, call it 13 at the line.
And Stanton with a good run down the back stretch. He'll look to the inside of Burge for the lead, but Burge able to use that outside. He'll keep him at bay.
Yeah, the 3 using up that outside lane. He's been running very strong up at the front of the field, and he's been using that outside lane most of this race. As we come back to 11 laps to go this time, Stanton is right there. Schaefer in the 91 trying to close the gap as well.
Stanton took a peek to the inside of Burge out of 2. He'll do it once again in 3 and 4. Still can't pull even with Burge. Meanwhile, side by side for 4th with Christian Peterson and Noah Allison.
Yeah, Allison was all kinds of sideways, had a handful of wheel out of turn number 4 that time, had a good save, but battling with Christian Peterson. Peterson's had a great run in the 75. He's up 10 spots as he gets the 4th position from Noah Allison, but Allison going to come right back on the top side through turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, and we've seen that outside come in as Allison gets the wall. That's going to hurt him as Cy Bowen looks to the inside to try to crack the top 5. But meanwhile, up front, it's still same story as Caleb Burge continuing to lead with 7 to go.
Big dive to the bottom from Zach Catalone, your pole sitter, trying to make something happen here. After going to the tail after that contact with Kyle Terzak, there is 6 laps to go at the stripe for Caleb Burge, trying to pick up the victory. Zach Catalone trying to break the top 5.
And we saw Schaefer use the apron in 1 and 2 as 5 laps remain. As we got one upside down, it looks to be Carter Hollingsworth.
The 28 up and over. And that is going to be it. I think he's going to have to reset that car. He will be back to the pits. I believe he and Jaden Russell were battling. That was the battle for the 10th spot. I think Russell just maybe got up the track a little bit, and Hollingsworth immediately up and over. That's similar, as much as I hate to say this, that is similar to the move that happened to me and Carter in the Little 500 on iRacing.
Yes, through 3 and 4, and it's tight corners here at Lanier, and Hollingsworth had himself a good run going, and fortunately for both he and Russell, looks like that will hurt it.
Yeah, we'll watch a different angle right here, try to see maybe the contact a little bit better. This is down through turns 3 and 4, and it's right at the center of the corner here. Right front to left rear, and then immediately up and over that 28 goes, bounces it right into the wall. And I think if he would have gotten a better roll off of the wall, if he would have maybe been able to keep that car on all 4 wheels, he would have been able to keep going, but unfortunately going to reset it, and that will end the night. So we will be in the, or close to the green-white checkered zone. We'll have to wait for the timing and scoring to reset. As we get the white flag. We got the white flag right there. Pace car is off. We will send them back racing. Caleb Burge, Jeffrey Stanton through turns 3 and 4. It is 4 laps to go at Lanier.
Stanton back to the apron as Burge pulls out with the lead down the backstretch. As we got a battle for 5th, but Stanton got to the inside trying to take the lead.
Yeah, Stanton right there. Jonathan Schaefer as well. Time is running out. This time by Popsicle Sticks. Going to be up in the air. 2 to go for Caleb Burge. What can Jeffrey Stanton say about it, though? He is right there in second.
Burge to the inside on through 1 and 2. Now Stanton tries to go to the inside. Birch with a block as we come to the white flag.
White flag is out. Final time for the number 3 of Caleb Burge. What can Jeffrey Stanton do? One final look into turns 3 and 4, but out of 4, give it to Caleb Burge, winning at Lanier. Caleb Burge picked up the victory. He started in the 4th spot, and man, Cody, he was right there battling in the top 5 all race long. Kind of kept himself quiet, didn't get too mixed up in the chaos, let things play out, and fell right into the position to pick up his first 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series victory. Man, what a race we just saw.
Yeah, and Caleb Burge, it was a story of right place, right time. As we saw Otis and Cabry get together while racing for the lead there late in the race, and Caleb Burge was able to take the lead due to their misfortune and was able to hang on for the win.
Yeah, and we're going to grab a word from our top 3 finishers in just one moment. We're going to grab a quick drink of water, catch our breaths, because that was an intense one. We'll grab a word from the top 3 when we return.
Mark News is back. Michigan Area Racing Connection News keeps fans in the tri-state area up to date on national headlines, local results, regional news, and so much more. Home of the Horsepower Happenings podcast, 500 Sprintcast, Gridline Social, Job Bank, Fastlane Images, KG Media, and so much more. MarkNews.org is the one stop for any race fan who needs to know what's going on in the Michigan area. Plus, get the Mark News weekly newsletter sent right to your inbox, FREE free. Sign up today and learn more at MarkNews.org. MarkNews.org, the Michigan Area Racing Connection.
All right, race fans, we are back here on the WD Broadcasting Network. We are going to talk to our race winner in the 3rd race of the season for the YourBigPlans.com 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series. Winner Caleb Burge up in the broadcast booth. Caleb, how do you feel after picking up the victory here at Lanier?
I mean, yeah, it feels pretty good. It was hard to hold them off with tires falling off, but I figured out to kind of run a lane off the bottom and then kind of shoot it to the wall. I mean, it worked out pretty good and held them off.
Yeah, it was definitely an insane race. What did you think when everybody was up in front of you battling hard there? I mean, how did you miss that wreck down the backstretch?
Just trying to lay back. I was trying to just save my tires, but I knew it was eventually going to happen with them hard racing, so kind of just keep my eyes peeled about it.
Yeah, and we saw throughout the field, up in the top 5, drivers use the apron to get through the corners, but like you said, you would take that second groove on the line. Just how did that work for you?
Well, how I really found out about it is when, I don't know who, 2 cars passed me on the top, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to go up here, because it started to get loose kind of off the bottom. And then I started making moves on the top, and I just stayed there.
Yeah, definitely awesome to figure out that top side. Definitely figured it out early, and I think that helped you throughout the run. We're able to hold some of those guys off at the end. Going forward, we've got Nashville next week. How does this set you up for a good run there?
I mean, pretty good. I mean, I'm decent with these cars on here. It's really just having no set the tires, trying not to burn them off. You're early in the race, but I'm going to try saving there and see what we can do.
All right, before we let you go, Caleb, who do you have to thank that helped put this number 3 sprint car in victory lane?
Day Transportation, C&M Day, Save a Life, Be a Donor, Beaver Contracting, and yeah, that's about it.
All right, well, congratulations to you on your victory here tonight, and we will hopefully talk to you later on this season, and we wish you luck.
All right, thank you.
Our winner here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Caleb Burge. Cody, that was incredible, and to see him hold off on the top side, for a while, I thought the bottom, like Zach Catalone mentioned earlier, I thought it was coming back in, but he held off and made that outside lane work.
Yeah, and he was one who stuck to the outside throughout the entire race, even when guys like Masinko and Andrew Bogus was using the apron. The Burge was able to keep that outside rolling, and it lands him in victory lane.
Yeah, and that was a good run for him. Another good run, the driver we've got up in the booth with us now, Jeffrey Stanton, started 8th here tonight, didn't get the best of qualifying runs, but put on a show, drove through, and ended up on the podium for, I think, the 2nd week in a row.
Yep.
Almost 2nd week in a row. 2nd time this season. There we go. You were 2nd at North Wilkesboro. 2nd again this week. Man, you're racking up these P2 finishes.
I wish I could have gotten one step further. I had burnt my tires off and off with the low fuel that we were on at the end of the race. It made it tough to make that outside work. I love the outside here, so with the low fuel, I was just trying to rat bottom and hope Caleb made a mistake there. It was wild up front, though. It was fun as hell.
Yeah, and you're 2nd in points going into tonight's race, and Jackson Masinko with problems during the race, but has you looking pretty good. May take the points lead after tonight, but still have that one drop race left. Just how are you feeling this early in the season?
I'm just here to try to get some wins at some point here. That's my main goal. I'll look at the points at the end of the season. That's the way I look at it.
Pretty good way to look at it. I'd say that's kind of how I race too. I like to just accidentally get at the top of the standings, run consistently, and then when you look later, you just happen to be at the top. And that's, I think, the way you're running right now. I think you can keep that up. Good run here tonight. What's it going to take at Nashville next week to replicate this?
Just another good clean race. That's going to be a fun race, I think. It'll be interesting. That place is a lot like this one, multi-groove usually, so a lot of different lines you can do.
Yeah, and looking at the rest of the schedule, just what tracks are you looking forward to the most?
I mean, Nashville is one of my favorites, but I'd say the main one would be IRP, Bristol, Oswego especially. I love all those places. Slinger's going to be fun. All of them are fun. I love all the tracks coming up. Yeah,
I'd say we got a pretty good selection of tracks. Oswego, I am just so excited to see these cars rip around there, especially because I think it's going to be pretty multi-groove, so that's going to be a good show. Well, congratulations to you, Jeffrey, on your second place finish here tonight. Who do you have to thank for another podium?
I'd like to thank Napa Auto Parts of Rockwell, North Carolina, everyone else that supports me, and y'all for putting this deal on. It's awesome.
Yeah, but there was a lot of fun racing up at the front here tonight. You guys put on a show, so congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
Second place finisher, Cody, Jeffrey Stanton. He is like I said, veteran of the sprint car and iRacing. He's second twice this season. I think he's going to find victory lane not too soon, or not too far up the road.
Yeah, it's not a matter of if for Stanton, it's a matter of when. And with Masinko's troubles tonight, I think he'll find himself in the points lead. But again, early in the season, still have a drop race, so it's going to be fun to see.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be interesting all season long to keep track of the drop weeks, see where everybody's at. We'll talk to our third place finisher now, Jonathan Schaefer, up in the broadcast booth. Third place finish here tonight. You had to work for it. You started 12th. Tell me about your run.
Yeah, we started 12th. A lot of us, guys up in points here, didn't have a good qualifying run tonight. I just missed it. But, the track, I loved it tonight. It was very two-lane. It seemed like, you'd get on the top, tires would heat up, you go back down to the apron. So I really liked that the track was 2 lanes like that. Overall good racing. We had a little bit of wrecks, but nothing bad at all. So I just want to thank everybody for racing clean, and WD and the admin for making this a good race. And I just want to thank Precision Motorsports and all my guys that run the league with me to make it fun. Rylan, Anthony, Matthew, Kyle. But overall, just a fun night, and I appreciate you guys putting this on.
And now on the real life side, we've seen you in a bunch of different race cars. I mean, former Cars Tour winner, seen you in midgets, late models, ARCA, trucks. Just how fun is it to drive the sprint car here on the sim?
Oh, this is probably my favorite, car on the simulator, just because I feel like this is the hardest car to drive in iRacing, and it really brings out, good drivers and good racing when you get a good group of people like this. So just because of the difficulty of these cars, even compared to real life, nothing really compares to the sprint cars in iRacing. So it's just always fun, to get in here with a good competitive field.
And
For sure.
Are there any tracks on the schedule that you're looking forward to the most?
Oh, yeah, I love Wilkesboro. Had a good run there. I love that track in real life. But South Boston, I'm really looking forward to. Had really good runs there in real life. And this is a really fun, gripped up, fast racetrack. So I'm really looking forward to South Boston.
That one's going to be a fun race. I think it's going to be really hard to not only pass, but navigate, I think is going to be the word. Because if we have the green flag runs that we see, or like that we saw here tonight, if we have those at South Boston, the lap times there may be just a little bit quicker than here. So I think you're going to start seeing lap traffic there maybe faster than you did here. So South Boston's going to be a fun one. That's probably one of the ones that I'm looking forward to the most. One that hasn't been mentioned yet in the times that Cody's asked that question. He's asked that question to a couple drivers. Nobody has said South Boston, so I'm glad we got some Sobo appreciation there. But third place finish here tonight. You had a couple people to thank. Who else makes this happen?
Yeah, just Precision Motorsports, Rylan, Anthony, Kyle, Matthew, just our little iRacing group here, just having a fun time, and just want to thank everybody in the field too up front. I mean, it's in these races, once you get up front, it's always just nice, clean racing. So thanks to everybody, all the competitors too, and like I said, WD and the admin and KG Media, everybody here for putting this on.
Yeah, it's been a blast. I hope we can see the 91 up towards the front of the field in the upcoming weeks. I'm sure we will. You've had a lot of speed this season so far, so congratulations on a podium finish here tonight. Hopefully we can talk to you maybe next week.
Awesome. Sounds like a plan. Thank you, guys.
Yep. All right, Cody, now we're going to wrap things up. We'll run through our results. Got to almost catch a breath because that was easily the most action-packed race we have seen this season.
Yeah, such an incredible race from start to finish as Caleb Burge picks up his first win of the season over Jeffrey Stanton and Jonathan Schaefer. as Tristan Peterson finishing 4th, and Zach Catalone had to go to the tail early, battles back for a 5th.
Yeah, Noah Allison comes home in the 6th spot in the 24. Cy Bowen, after running up front early in those top 3 spots, finishes in the 7th spot. Good run overall from the 17B. Brandon Atkinson, the Trick Chassis entry in the 15, up 5 spots into the 8th position. Street Stock Showdown winner Gavin Gardner comes home in the 9th spot, right where he started here tonight, a quiet night for the 55. And then rounding out the top 10, points leader Jackson Masenko recovered from that incident down the backstretch. Still somehow finished 5 spots better than he started, but not the run he was looking for in 10th.
And Alex Orion's finishing 11th, Anthony Woodhull in 12th, and Brian Tedeschi, Jeremiah Woods, and K.H. Donahue rounding out the top 15.
Coming home in the 16th place spot, Jacob Wilson, Zach Evans, Jacob Wilson in the 16th spot. We'll restart there. Zach Evans comes home 17th. Matt Elzy Jr. 18th. Jaden Russell and Carter Hollingsworth both finish 5 laps down, 19th and 20th after the contact between those two. Tough break for those drivers.
Yeah, and 3 drivers who all had their time up front. Cole Cabry, Andrew Bogus, Kyle Turzak, all out of the race early. They finished 21st through 23rd, and then Zach Murphy rounding out the field.
Yeah, tough break for Bogus and Cabry. Those two were putting on one of the best races I've seen on iRacing in some time. I mean, using the apron at Lanier as a legitimate strategy to get to the front, it just, I mean, how can I even complain? There's nothing to complain about there. But looking forward, we've got Nashville next week, Oswego the week after, Bristol, and South Boston. Our next 4 races. Of those 4, Cody, you got to pick one. What one are you circling?
Ooh, I think I'm going to circle that Bristol race. I mean, we have a bunch of bid tracks coming up with Nashville, Oswego, and Bristol. But Bristol being a different surface than anything else we'll see on the schedule, I think that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, that was probably going to be mine. If I'm going to have to choose of those 4, it's going to be Oswego. Like you said, the different pavement at Bristol, that's going to be an insane challenge, and different challenge for these guys is the bumpiness of Oswego. Going down the front stretch, there is a bump at the start-finish line that in most cars genuinely lifts your tires up off the ground. So you're going to have to manhandle the car at Oswego. I'm looking forward to those drivers going 50 laps there. But that's in a couple of weeks. We had a great show here tonight, Cody. Anything you got to say before we wrap things up?
Yeah, and best race of the year so far with the 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series. Now, on the real life side, unfortunately, Toledo last Sunday yesterday, got postponed with the date to be made up here, to be announced. But next race will be a week from Sunday, June 28th at the Winchester Speedway for the Tom Bigelow Showdown. It was one of my favorite races last year, so be sure to come on out to Winchester if you can make it. If not, the race will be live on Racing America.
Yeah, that one's definitely going to be a fun one. I've seen sprint cars at Winchester, but I've never seen, I guess I should say, I've seen winged sprint cars at Winchester. I don't think I've ever seen non-winged, and I've never seen the 500 Sprint Car Tour there. So it's going to be pretty awesome to be there in real life. I hope to see you there, Cody. I'm sure I will. I hope to see a lot of you race fans there, and we'll see you guys next week for the 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series right here on the WD Broadcasting Network at Nashville. Myself and hopefully Cody Guy are going to be up here in the booth, assuming no thunderstorms or anything of the sort happen. But thank you guys for watching the WD Broadcasting Network. I am your host, Winston Deal, alongside Cody Geyer. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out.